Hey guys, Keri and Alex here. Today we are going to do our second video talking to you guys about nutrition and kind of how it's been going for us the last 2 weeks. Alex and I are really different when it comes to how we do our nutrition, as far as he's intentional and I'm just kind of like, oh, that looks good. And I've always tried to eat healthy and make good choices, but I've never been big on counting how many nuts I eat and this, that, and the other. So for me, it's been really eye-opening. This is the first time I've really, with the help of Alex, really followed a diet and counted what I've been putting in to my body as far as ounces and cups and this, that, and the other. And I've finally am eating fruit. I've never really eaten a whole lot of fruit. I've been eating tons of berries and what else? I feel like I've been eating quite a bit of food, and I've been noticing a big change in my overall well-being. My brain feels like it's functioning better. Like I just feel lighter, happy.
Yeah, and we are sitting on beanbags. So we want to talk about, like Keri said, the last week we've been doing zones since Monday officially. And to open up more again about like CrossFit's philosophy on nutrition, it's to eat meat and veggies, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, and no sugar. Like Keri said, biggest thing that we've noticed from the zone diet is eating more fruit. So CrossFit's prescription talks about eating some fruit, and we aren't overdoing fruit, but we'll explain more about why we're eating more fruit and what's going on with that. We've also been, really watching our fat intake, where we're counting how many cashews or almonds we're having before we take 2 handfuls. I might take 4, and so I'm really hot and cold with diets. I can be super strict and then super off, and when I'm off and I'm not even counting, even though I know what's going on, I kind of overdo it. I overeat. I like to be stuffed and kind of food coma kind of stuff. As I'm sure some of you can understand and do that too.
It's actually kind of funny because when we first started doing the zone, I've never measured with a teaspoon and stuff, and so he'd say you get a teaspoon of peanut butter, and so I'm taking my spoon and I'm like, that's about a teaspoon. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I've always just guessed, and so it's actually been kind of fun, learning. And like he said, now I'll get 12 almonds for a meal, whereas before I would probably be eating 40. It's crazy, so crazy. So
yeah, and so along with it too, while when we would be eating healthy, which we usually do anyways, we would have some asparagus or some broccoli, and now this diet or lifestyle, I guess more so, is more derived in blocks of food, and what that means is every meal you're having an even amount of blocks of each macro, so carbs, fat, and protein, and what we found too is say for instance I eat a 5-block meal, so I have 5 protein choices, 5 carb, 5 fat. I generally with a meal would have I'm gonna go for 6 ounces of protein, which would be 6 blocks, and then I'd have 1 or 2 carb blocks. And so we've been eating a lot more carbs than before, and we've been hammering as much vegetables into that carb block as possible, where adding in also has been a lot of fruit. So this past week has been awesome. We both chose to kind of go at the high end of the zone blocks, and so I chose well-muscled male. It kind of seems like a CrossFit Games athlete kind of food. I've been eating a lot, and so I think I need to kind of pull it down, drop the blocks, or at least a few meals, a few less blocks. And Keri also was the higher range too. It's phrased under well-muscled female, and hers would be 4 blocks, 4-block breakfast, lunch, and then a snack of 1 block, a 4-block dinner, and then a snack of 1 block. And she even got kind of hungry, so she's been kind of doing 2-block snacks.
So we're going to go over kind of an idea of like what I would be eating for breakfast. But before we do that, there's a couple things we want to go through. With the zone, if you've never taken a look at it, it would be really cool if you guys, read about it, because it's talking about, the different foods that can create an adverse effect on our hormones, which causes inflammation. And oftentimes, there's times when we know that there's inflammation because we can tell in our gut or whatever, but there's also inflammation that we don't know is going on. And so with ongoing inflammation over a course of time, you're going to end up with, different diseases and whatnot. And that's kind of the underlying reason why there's issues out there is people don't understand that a lot of it's derived by the foods that we eat. And so, we've all heard it, and it's just a good refresher to realize like the importance of like things like blueberries and stuff like that. Like, I don't ever eat blueberries. We have so many berries in our fridge. It's so cool. It feels really clean and healthy. So
yeah, and with what she was saying about the bad foods that they cause inflammation, and there's within the zone diet there's lists of food to like choose from and how much to have of each, and there's favorable carbs and unfavorable carbs. The more unfavorable and then deeper into that list are ones that spike your insulin too much, and when your insulin spikes, that's kind of when your fat burning body component is out of whack, and you're more likely to store fat. And so this finds the healthy foods and blends it into a good portion control, and it is for overall wellness. And CrossFit talks about just eating as much as you need for energy, for not promoting body fat gain, so body fat loss, and just energy and well-being. We've talked a lot about calories and macros, and so we want to dig into that super quick. So we've reiterated this a lot, so if you guys haven't heard this, like take this on right now. 1 gram of protein is 4 calories, 1 gram of carbs is 4 calories, and 1 gram of fat is 9 calories, so more than twice the amount of calories per gram. And so this zone lifestyle also falls into that safety with not overdoing fat. Those of you that have done InBody scan or the body spec DEXA scan know your basal metabolic rate, and that's what your body burns just to live every day, not even with workouts. It ranges between 1,400 and 2,000 for male and women, and the more muscle you have, the higher that your body's burning every day. So those are just some facts, and the basal metabolic rate is the range that you want to think about when eating too much or too little and trying to stick around that. If you're working out a lot, you definitely need some extra energy, but not exceeding that, or else that's going to also promote fat gain. With the zone, we've been saying a lot about the zone, and you might not even understand what that even is yet. But just so you know, yeah, with blocks, 1 carb block is 9 grams of carbs. 1 protein block is 7 grams, and 1 fat block is 1.5 grams. And there's a little bit more into the fat there, which we won't dig into right now. But it promotes a 40% carb, 30% protein, 30% fat balance in your diet.
So the zone basically is keeping your hormonal level in like the zone, like the perfect zone to where you're not going to have spikes of this, that, and the other, inflammation or whatever. So it's the way he has it designed, and this has gone on for years, is like Alex said, is like the certain blocks of protein, carbs, and fat is like the perfect element to keep your body at a good zone state. So should we talk about what we've been eating?
Yes.
Okay.
So like I was saying, I chose the higher end. I have 5 meals of 5 block meals, which is a lot of food. And so how do you want to do it?
I'll talk about my breakfast and talk about your breakfast.
Sweet.
Okay, so for my breakfast, what I've been kind of leaning towards is 2 eggs, and so that would be 2 blocks, and then 1/3 cup oats is a block. So for my protein, I would be doing 2 eggs, and then two two-third cups oats. And then I would also do protein powder. So that would be, I think 4 tablespoons. And then that would be my protein block. Along with my oats, I would do a half a cup of blueberries and 2/3 cups raspberries. And then I'd also do 2 teaspoons of peanut butter. So it's amazing.
And that's a 4-block meal for Keri. And so 5-block meal, pretty much the same meal, but I have 3 eggs, same amount of protein because I only have 1 extra block of each of her, than her. And so I have 1 extra egg. I've got an extra block of carbs. So I have one extra cup of strawberries where she had no strawberries, for instance. And then I'll have an extra block of fat. So she has 2 teaspoons of peanut butter, and I would do 2.5 teaspoons of almond butter. And so we're gonna post these 2 meal examples along with this video. It is super interesting. We posted one, the last video too, and that one was more general for a good healthy diet. This one's like all in with like the zone compartments of like every meal. It's pretty crazy me doing 5 blocks of 5 because Keri's got the 2 blocks of 2 meals, and so I'm having so much more food. Do you want to go through each thing or just kind of say like at the end?
Let's do like a snack example. My snack for 1 block would be a half a cup of cottage cheese, 2 cups of strawberries, and 12 peanuts.
So that's actually 2 blocks, and so I wrote up hers as a 2-block thing, and so because she'd been leaning more towards a 4-4-2-4-2 block day. And again, if that doesn't make sense, go to the link about zone and it'll make more sense, or we can totally explain it to you guys if you want to talk about it and stuff. And so me having 5 blocks of 5, I have to pack in as much as possible and everything. So my snacks are a meal, and so that's why I'm going to lean towards pulling it back. The end of my day for our example looks like for me 3,050 calories, and so my days have been ranging from like 2,700 to like 3,000 depending on what I'm eating, but it still hits that 40-30-30% for the carbs, protein, and fat. My carbs for this day would be 309 grams, protein 250, and fat 107. And now I'm not working out 4 hours a day like a CrossFit athlete, but I did want to start high so that I wasn't starving and then peel back. And
my calories have been a little over 2,000, so maybe like 2,100. And we've been working out pretty much every day, so I feel awesome. That does include a glass of wine. So we're still having fun, but we're eating really
I've had 1 glass. So yeah, so her snacks range between 250 and 300 calories, and then meals like 4 to 550. The calories and macros are less important if you follow the blocks. It's so crazy how everything falls into place. And so we're talking about macros and calories, but the zone diet is to dial in an easy mental block kind of meal, like made meal, and have it be a little bit more simple to understand.
And just like anything, it gets easier. Like the first days, I'm like, I keep messing this up, but like you get it, you figure it out, and the next thing you know, after 2 weeks, it's like second nature. So
yeah, so we're stoked to be doing this kind of newer lifestyle where we generally eat healthy, like 90% of the time, and we just kind of came across this, and we had learned it through CrossFit, and we wanted to try it out and try something new, and it has been fun. It does feel good eating. It's essentially a whole foods diet. We're eating super clean. We're choosing the better foods, and we're just kind of eating a lot more of it, but being careful and not eating it like right before bed and things like that. We just want to be in front of you guys and kind of help you think more about nutrition and get more conversation going as we're heading into the summer and heading into opening up this next week. And if you have any questions, we definitely want to talk to you guys. We want to hear from you and help you guys out.
Yep. Start eating good, you guys, and we will see you soon.
Bye, guys. Love you.